Next up, we got my favorite movies of 2018. Again, not necessarily films that came out in 2018, but movies I watched in 2018. And the first one is Henry, A Portrait of a Serial Killer, or Portrait of a Serial Killer. Oh my God. This was another very rough watch, not because it was bad, but because the situations are horrific and rough and disturbing, and Michael Rooker's performance, holy crap. I don't think anybody that I have seen has played a serial killer or an insane person quite as well. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's this film that made Kevin Smith hire Michael Rooker as the father in Mallrats. So there you go. I mean, I don't know what else to say there. It's a rough movie, very well acted, very disturbing if you're into that. Next up, we got Backcountry. This was recommended to me by Heather in the Discord server, and Heather's a jerk. Heather's a jerk for recommending this. I've always thought, oh, I want to go live in the woods. But after seeing this film, no longer do I want to live in the woods. This is a survival nature film, I guess I would describe it as. A couple goes out into the woods, and there's a couple of misdirects in there, but I'm not going to tell you anything more about it because I want you to experience it the same way I did. Backcountry, if I'm not mistaken, 2014, 2015. And my God, so stressful, so anxiety-inducing. And if you are like me and you've always thought it would be amazing to live in a cabin in the woods, this may ruin it for you. Thanks a lot, Heather. The next one is Hereditary, and this is a film that actually came out in 2018. Now, I can't remember any of the actors or actresses' names, but, and I'm going to hold off on saying anything about the actual plot. I want you to experience it as untainted as possible. I want you to go in with no expectations. All I can say is the main actress gave one of the most heartbreaking and convincing performances that I have ever seen. I imagine that being on that set had to be a very unfun experience because it seems so depressing. It seems like she is there. She's going through that in real time. I think that's exactly what I said when I talked about it during the year. But that had a very strong impact on me. And if you're looking for a horror kind of ghost, kind of cult, I don't know how I would explain it, kind of a family drama, I guess, 100% recommend it. It's a rough one. Then we got Misery, based on a Stephen King book, if I am not mistaken. Kathy Bates, and I can't remember the actor's name who is playing the author, but that's another good one. Another good one. That's all I can really say. I loved that film. I loved Kathy Bates' performance. She was so schizophrenic, and it was so convincing, and just a great fun film, especially if you don't like walking. I'll just say that. Another Stephen King one right here. Dead Zone with Christopher Walken. I did not know what to expect going into this movie. I did not look up what it was about. I bought a Stephen King box set, and this was in it, and I loved it. It's a mix of kind of conspiracies with paranormal, with all sorts of fringe ideas, I guess, but all around, Christopher Walken plays his part very well. The story is excellent, and it has a little bit of a conspiracy to it, which you know I am always on board with because I've already alluded to it once this episode. The last thing that I am going to recommend is only the second movie or special on my entire list that had 2 thumbs up. The other one was Dead Zone, is John Mulaney, Kid Gorgeous. If you like comedy specials, I think this is hands down my favorite of the year. John Mulaney does it at Radio City Music Hall, and John Mulaney is just that. he's so misdirecting. He walks out wearing this really nice suit. He seems so well put together. Then he has very innocent jokes, but he also has somewhat dirty jokes. Just all around, his comedy is excellent. I think this is his best performance thus far, and I think it was, in my opinion, the best comedy special that I saw that came out this year. And that is it for favorite movies of 2018.